Did you know some of the most significant inventions were discovered by accident? Let's start with the humble friction match. This everyday item, which we often take for granted, has an intriguing backstory. The friction match was born from a serendipitous event in the life of a British pharmacist named John Walker. In the year 1827, Walker was in his lab when he accidentally scraped a stick coated with certain chemicals across his hearth. To his surprise, the stick burst into flames. A moment of shock quickly turned into a moment of enlightenment as Walker realized the potential of his accidental invention. What's even more remarkable about this story is that Walker chose not to patent his invention. This selfless decision allowed the friction match to spread across the globe, bringing light and warmth into countless homes. Isn't it fascinating how a simple accident could spark such a significant invention? And to think this everyday item was born from a mere accident. Next, we have a bang of an invention. Quite literally. Picture this. The year is 1847, and Italian chemist Ascanio Sobrero invents a highly volatile liquid, nitroglycerin. But volatile doesn't even begin to cover it. This stuff is so explosive that it's practically uncontainable. Fast forward to 1867, enter Alfred Nobel, a Swedish scientist with a penchant for the profitable. He saw the potential in nitroglycerin not as a hazard, but as a powerful tool. So he transformed it into a much safer, controlled form we now know as dynamite. Sobrero, on the other hand, was far from jubilant about this development. He opposed the use of his explosive invention, distressed by the harm caused by nitroglycerin explosions. The regret was so profound that it cast a shadow over his achievement, a potent discovery indeed, but one with a dark side. From destruction to salvation, our next accidental invention has saved countless lives. This story takes us back to the year 1928, when a Scottish scientist named Alexander Fleming inadvertently stumbled upon a discovery that would revolutionize medicine. While working at his laboratory in London, Fleming noticed something unusual. A petri dish, once filled with Staphylococcus bacteria, had been contaminated by a mold called Penicillium notatum. But it wasn't the contamination that intrigued Fleming. It was the clear area around the mold where the bacteria seemed to have been eradicated. Fleming had discovered the antibacterial properties of this unassuming mold, but it wasn't until a team of chemists at Oxford University got their hands on his work that penicillin was transformed into a viable medicine. This team, led by Howard Florey and Ernst Chain, developed methods to grow, extract, and purify enough penicillin to prove its value as a drug. By 1942, penicillin was being widely used, marking the dawn of the age of antibiotics. A moldy dish never seemed so appealing, did it? Our next invention is one that sticks with us, quite literally. Imagine taking a leisurely stroll through the countryside, only to return home with burrs stuck to your clothes and your pet's fur. Most of us would find this slightly annoying, but for one man, it sparked a brilliant idea. His name was Georges de Mestral, a Swiss engineer, and the year was 1941. Deeply intrigued by these persistently clinging burrs, de Mestral decided to examine them under a microscope. What he discovered were tiny hooks that allowed the burrs to stick to anything with a loop, such as fur, hair, or fabric. This fascinating finding led him to develop and patent a unique two-sided fastener, one side with stiff hooks like the burrs, the other with soft loops like fabric. He named his invention Velcro, a portmanteau of the French words velours, meaning velvet, and crochet, meaning hook. Today, Velcro is a household name, used in everything from children's shoes to astronaut suits. So the next time you fasten your sneakers or adjust a strap, remember that sometimes all it takes is a walk in nature to stumble upon a great invention. Now let's venture into an invention that keeps us safe daily. Picture this. It's the 1930s and Swiss physicist Walter Jaeger is busy at work, not on the life-saving device we're talking about today, but on a sensor for poison gas. However, as fate would have it, his device had a different idea. Instead of detecting poison gas, it registered smoke. Yes, smoke. But don't be quick to dismiss this as a failure. Quite the contrary, this unexpected outcome sparked the invention of the modern smoke detector. Just think about it. A device born out of a mistake now works tirelessly to keep us safe from the silent yet lethal threat of smoke and fire. As the years rolled by, the smoke detector became more affordable. By the 1970s, it had made its way into countless homes around the world. Today, it's estimated that smoke detectors are found in 9 out of 10 homes. Who would have thought that a failed poison gas sensor could end up saving so many lives? It's a remarkable story of how an unintended result can lead to an invention of great significance. A mistake that turned out to be a lifesaver, literally. From safety to sweetness, our next invention is a fizzy favorite. Let's travel back to the year 1866. American pharmacist John Pemberton has just invented a new painkiller. He calls it Pemberton's French wine coca, a concoction containing coca wine and cola nuts. But as the winds of change blow, Pemberton finds himself reformulating his creation. Why? Well, he was aiming to create a temperance drink, a non-alcoholic beverage that could offer medicinal benefits. And what emerges from his lab is a sweet, carbonated drink that makes the world's taste buds dance. Yes, you've guessed it. It's Coca-Cola, now one of the most popular soft drinks across the globe. So, the next time you're sipping on a Coke, remember its roots in medicine and how a simple change in formula turned a painkiller into a worldwide sensation. Who would have thought a painkiller could become such a sweet treat? From the sweet beginnings of Coca-Cola, we now delve into a different type of discovery. It's the early 1930s, and in the rural Midwest of the United States, a crisis is unfolding. Cows are mysteriously bleeding to death after minor procedures or even natural childbirth. Upon investigation, it's discovered that the cows had been eating spoiled sweet clover, which seemed to be the cause of their misfortune. Enter biochemist Carl Paul Link and his team from the University of Wisconsin. They take on the task of studying the spoiled clover, and after years of research, they isolate the anticoagulant compound causing the bleeding, decumerol. Fast forward to the 1940s, Link synthesizes a more potent version of this compound, which he names Warfarin. Initially used as a rat poison, it's only in the 1950s when President Eisenhower was treated with it after a heart attack that it gained recognition as a life-saving blood thinner. Today, warfarin is used worldwide to prevent blood clots in patients at risk of heart attack or stroke. A deadly poison turned into a lifesaver. Now that's a twist of fate. Last but not least, an invention that has revolutionized our kitchens. Picture this. The year is 1946, and Raytheon engineer Percy Spencer is deep in concentration, testing a military-grade magnetron. Suddenly, he finds a melted snack in his pocket. Curiosity piqued, he decides to experiment further. Placing an egg under the magnetron leads to a rather messy, explosive result. Undeterred, Spencer continues his culinary experiments, this time with corn kernels. To his delight, and probably to the surprise of his colleagues, he ends up with a bag full of popcorn. This accidental discovery led to the birth of the microwave oven. The first commercial microwave oven, the Radirange, was introduced the following year. However, it took 2 more decades until 1967 for microwaves to become a common sight in American homes. Today, over 90% of American homes have a microwave oven, a warm accident that has been heating our meals ever since. So, there you have it. The brilliant inventions that have shaped our world in ways we couldn't have imagined, all thanks to a series of fortunate accidents. The friction match, born out of a simple scrape across a hearth, ignited a revolution in fire starting. Dynamite, while initially a cause for regret, became a powerful tool in construction and industry. Penicillin, discovered in a petri dish of mold, has saved countless lives as a revolutionary antibiotic. Velcro, inspired by a pesky cocklebur plant, has found its place in numerous industries, simplifying our lives one hook and loop at a time. The smoke detector, a product of a failed poison gas sensor, now guards 9 out of 10 homes against fire hazards. Coca-Cola, originally a painkiller, quenches the thirst of millions worldwide. And let's not forget the microwave oven, a happy accident that revolutionized how we prepare our food. Each of these inventions is a testament to the beauty of serendipity in scientific discovery. So keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep making those mistakes. Who knows? Maybe your next mistake could lead to the world's next great invention.
Thank you for watching. Hope you found this video informative and entertaining. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. We do like to know and hear your feedback. And if you have the means, please consider supporting us on Patreon, where we post bonus material. Till next time, this is Geeky Tidbits, saying cheers, and have a good day.